Yes. He should play with the deal that they're offering him, right? And let me break that down why, right? Because obviously they're going back and forth. Now, he's not happy with the number they're offering him, so he's like, oh, I'm waiting. You know, that's playing that game. But I just think that he should, just because of, like, if I'm the GM and I'm talking to his agency and all that, right? And we're talking, I'm like, yo, before we got the right system for you, who were you? Right? Before he got the head coach, before he got all these different pieces, what did we all think of Tua? Trevor Lawrence without the contract. Right? So my thing is, like, sometimes we gotta, like, this. I get it. Like, it's a type of business where you gotta get all the money you want, right? I know what he's making. I want to make more than him. This, that, and third. We're always competing in competition. But at some point, we gotta start controlling this money for the quarterbacks, because it's starting to do this thing where now quarterbacks are just getting paid just because of the position they're playing. Like Daniel Jones should never got no contract. Baker Mayfield should never got no big contract. Just because they are decent quarterbacks in their position, they getting paid all this money. I look at Tua and I think if he didn't have McDaniels, he didn't have Tyreek Hill and all these different things, he would be at the same spot he was before. And if you was on the market free, how many teams is gonna knock on that door to pick you up? Because on the other side, it's like, yo, they might think, well, dang, if you don't have this super crazy offense, all this motion and different looks, will he be an elite quarterback? Those are questions you're gonna ask yourself, because now if you pay him a certain amount of money that is over what he deserves, then now you got all this money tied into the wide receivers, into the quarterback, and you never know what can happen. So all I'm saying is this: Tua should get paid, yes, but the number that he probably wants, I think you shouldn't fight to go get that. I think they will get a favorable number where we both can agree with it. But paying him like Trevor Lawrence and all that, like, come on, what are we doing here?
I mean, disrespectful. What was the other line?
Come on, man.
I forget the other one.
Insults. Yeah, we're getting crazy. It's not a disrespect. It's not insult. This is what negotiations are. You say I'm gonna pay this. You say I'm not playing for this, and then you meet somewhere in the middle. Shay says it all the time. You ask for a little bit, you're not gonna get all of it. You ask for this, you're not gonna get that. Then you meet in the middle. A good contract negotiation, both people leave a little bit unhappy.
Right.
That's how it is. You have to wiggle here. Tua has been a good quarterback. He has put the Dolphins in a position that they haven't been in a very, very long time.
True.
And that is simply, you know who the Dolphins quarterback is. You look at these deals and we get a little crazy. I'm with Shady. I do think that there are some certain situations where quarterbacks are way overpaid, and then it hamstrings the rest of the organization. You have all these other good players that can't get paid because you're overpaying the quarterback. I think Tua is the franchise quarterback for the Dolphins. He should wait for a deal that he feels comfortable with, that the Dolphins will also not feel comfortable with, and then Tua won't, and you meet in the middle and get a deal done. At the end of the day, he's going to be the quarterback for the next 2 to 3 years. Pretty much everyone feels that way. So front load the contract, have some language in there. No, he doesn't need a no trade clause and all that stuff. Get a good deal done and worry about the next couple years. Everyone's talking about, oh, is he going to be the quarterback for the next 10 years? Is there going to be a planet in 10 years? Like, what are you talking about 10 years from now? Who cares about 10 years from now? This isn't Patrick Mahomes. These are very outlier deals. You're worried about the next 3 years. So get a deal done that locks him in. You don't want to have to overpay for him, which you could risk if he goes out and wins a playoff game. They haven't won a playoff game since 2000. What do you think he's going to cost if they go out this year and win a playoff game? Way more than you're going to want to pay him. And that's the game that you're playing with this. So get a comfortable deal done. Get a reasonable deal done. He deserves his money. He's put the Dolphins in a good situation. Yes, he has good pieces around him. Yes, he has a good coach around him. Thank God for the Dolphins finally doing that. Getting some weapons and a coach that stabilizes the organization and gives them a culture and identity. That's what you're supposed to do. So I don't want to get into like the disrespect and the insults. That's getting a little crazy for me. Tua deserves a deal. He's a franchise quarterback. And don't worry about 10 years from now.
Tua should reset the market. We'll elaborate on it after the commercial.
I know you would say that. It's like all the other guys, him, Trevor Lawrence, it's like all the guys is okay do it.
He should reset the market. And he will. I know it is.
Yeah.
They coming for that.
You don't even gotta be special.
People that for years too, so they made a big deal about it when I said it, but you know, when he said it, they act like they didn't hear it. But,
Was some of your motivation for leaving the Packers to prove that? Like, was some of your motivation, like, you know what, I want to be away from Aaron Rodgers so I can show everybody just how good I am without him? Was that part of the motivation in the decision?
It truly wasn't. It was more of a byproduct of it, and it was something that when I look back on that season, I was definitely glad that I was able to perform the way that I did, in the year previous with Aaron, so that I could show, and, it proves that, obviously, but that was never on my mind. Let me get out of here so that I can prove to the world that I don't need Aaron. At the end of the day, if it meant I was going to, hindsight is always 20/20, but at the end of the day, if it meant that I was going to go over there and and lose it all, then obviously that don't mean anything. I'd rather stay with Aaron and continue to be productive and, you know, keep stacking numbers the way that I did rather than risk it and go somewhere and you know, just to die. So at the end of the day, it was just kind of how it played out. And, you know, I'm definitely not mad about the decision that I made, but, you know, playing with Aaron does make things easier for sure.
He leads the league in touchdowns since he left the Packers, by the way, for the viewers listening. So
quit bringing up all the stats. Yeah, all right, don't read your press clippings, bro. Real quick, man, speaking of 12, AR8 now, he ain't in Las Vegas. You got AOC, you got Gardner Minshew.
Hold on, James. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell has earned the right number.
Yeah, say his name, please.
AOC, Aiden O'Connell. You got.
I don't care who's on here.
We heard who you said.
You got Aiden O'Connell.
There you go.
And you got Gardner Minshew.
Much better. That's been crazy.
Obviously, it's a training camp battle. It's going to be a training camp battle. It's a quarterback battle over there in Las Vegas. Is it somebody you want? Is it somebody that's winning the job right now? You got a better feel with one of the guys? How the quarterback position playing out?
Good question.
Well, I mean, I want whoever's going to look the best, you know, when it's time, when it's live bullets. So at the end of the day, I don't have a preference other than the fact that I want somebody that's confident and ready to go when it's time to do it. So whoever that is, that's who I want throwing the ball. I think right now, if I had to say, I think Aiden has the job because, you know, obviously he was here before and that's the way that it was. He was running with the ones more, and until Gardner comes in and, you know, takes the job away from him, I think it's Aiden's job right now. And he doing what he got to do to hold on to it. We still got to keep working and, you know, do what we got to do to grow and get better. We could definitely get better than where we are. You know, he and I, our connection, him individually, even me. At this point in the year, this is not where you are going to show your best. So, you know, throughout camp, when we start really going, the pads is on and, you know, we're doing the real deal. I think that's when we'll be able to decide who the guy will be. And, you know, I'll continue to keep working and getting that camaraderie with that person.
What has Antonio Pierce done to meld this team? Because obviously there's been a lot of changes around the Raiders. They're a huge brand. They have a huge fan base. There's been a lot of turnover and uncertainty, but it seems like the team really loves him and he's brought a completely new energy. So how do you feel about what he's done with the team?
Yeah, I mean, he really affected the team before he even knew he affected the team. And I say that because we had a little kumbaya. I'm not too sure, you know, I'm not going to get into too much detail about that, but we had a little kumbaya last year, right before we actually made the change. And AP actually got up there and spoke in front of the team. And, I mean, I think he opened up a lot of people's eyes because he'd been a real kind of quiet behind-the-scenes dude. You know, you're a linebackers coach. You don't really have the same voice as the head coach or as a coordinator does. So he was kind of playing his role, chilling and winning us over, you know, just by a few words that he got up there and shared. And we could feel the passion. We could feel that he wasn't scared of nobody in the room, the way he got up there and talked directly, you know, toward specific people. You know, he's not afraid to empower certain players. Like, I've always been a fan of the coaches that can get up there and say, Tay, I need you to tomorrow right here, you know, the night before the game. Tay, I need you to put on your cape tomorrow. You know, whoever the quarterback is, I need you to put your cape on. Josh Jacobs, I need you to put your cape on tomorrow. Y'all the cape wearers. Now, and then he'll go to the special teams dude. You my hard hat and my work boots dude. I need you to show up and do what your opportunities you have. You may have 10 plays. I need you to put your work boots on and go do your thing. So for me, I don't like the coach that's going to get up there and just be all together, you know, we have to do this or do that, like whatever. Like, no, be direct about what you mean. Call out certain players and see what they're made of. Tay, it been a week since you really did your thing. It's been 2 weeks now. You the best, ain't you? All right, get up there, do what you got to do. If you really him, get up there and do it. And that's the type of stuff that I like because those are the type of coaches I had growing up, and those are the ones that got the most out of the players that they had. Sometimes you don't need a change in personnel. You need a change in a coach that can come in and get something out of a player that maybe he didn't even know what was in there. So that's what we seen basically the next week after we made the change, and we went out there and blew the Giants out. I mean, you can say what you want about the Giants. They're still in the NFL. Right. It is what it is. We blew them out after a horrific showing the week before. So, yeah, he the type of dude, you bring him in there, and he going to challenge you, make you challenge yourself, and get out whatever you have in there. He going to make sure he pull that out.
Yeah, I love that because hearing that reminds me of Andy Reid. That's how he is, right? He's not going to talk to the guys that's just on the team. He going, hey, look, man, you the best. We need you to show up tomorrow. So I love hearing that. I got 2 questions for you. They're not gonna like this, but I'm sitting with greatness, so I gotta steal a couple questions. I do want to ask you this though, like I have a great relationship with all the young talented players, you know, especially